I did my presentation on Olaudah Equiano. Olaudah Equiano was a big player in the abolitionist movement. He and his sister were kidnapped and taken away from their village at a young age. They were separated and reunited multiple times, but eventually were removed from each other permanently. Equiano was then put onto a slave ship and traveled to his final destination of America. He was owned by many different captains and learned how to write and read while on board ships. His knowledge of ships and how they work gave him the opportunity to work and made a little bit of money, and bought his freedom for $40. He then used his knowledge to write a book and work avidly in the abolitionist movement. His only documented work is his autobiography, the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano. His writing was shockingly intelligent, with details so vivid that the reader could almost empathize for his pain. But alas, we were soon deprived of even the small comfort of weeping together. The next day proved a day of greater sorrow than I had yet experienced, for my sister and I were then separated while we lay clasped in each other's arms. Equiano and his sister lived in the Igbo region of Nigeria, a southeastern region wrought with violence and political strife. Equiano lived during the Age of Enlightenment, a time when science and logic trumped over all. Math and intricate diagrams flourished during this time period. The way that Equiano wrote played a key part in the popularity of his book. If he had not been so intelligent and eloquent, his book would have not been received well and maybe have been discarded as not worthy of reading. Though embellishing quite a bit, the arguments that he made were logical and well-reasoned. Therefore, he was respected and people listened to what he had to say. Equiano was a part of the Sierra Leone Resettlement Project, a project that moved free African Americans back to their native African regions so that they might live peacefully again. His book was so significant that it created a new literary genre, the slave narrative. What set this apart was how it was written and the feeling that the reader was left. They felt connected to the writer, an impressive feat during the Age of Enlightenment. Equiano influenced the abolitionist movement in a way that not many other slaves had. His book was eloquently written and intellectually worded. The use of induction combined with vivid detail left the readers with a lasting feeling that slavery was unacceptable. His book signifying the beginning of the end of the slavery. Equiano was a major player in the abolitionist movement, possibly one of the largest. He gained so much influence that he even had audiences with the King of England discussing the end of slavery. Because of the genre his book created, many other slaves were able to document and even sell their experiences, sometimes giving them the funding necessary to purchase their freedom and spread the truths of slavery around the globe. Equiano, as stated, was a major factor in the abolition of slavery. Without his help and influence, the abolitionist movement wouldn't have gotten nearly as much recognition. He was able to gain popularity and use his time as a free black man to tell people about slavery. His intelligence gained him respect with the white citizens, seeing as he was self-taught and a devout Christian. The literary genre that he created was instrumental in giving hope to slaves that had the opportunity to buy their freedom by writing and selling their books. He gave hope to those who had none. In his exploratory work, Equiano traveled to the North Pole in search of a passage from India with Horatio Nelson. The ship that they sailed on was nearly lost, and the group had to fight off polar bears on numerous occasions. With their work, they were able to prove that having a trade route up through the Arctic would be inefficient and not worth anybody's time. Thank you.